after having purchased him and seeing him for myself, what would I say his pros and cons are? Is he worth that price tag? And what would I rate him on a scale from 1 to 10? I'll be letting you guys know all of that in today's review video of Rusty from Spirit Halloween. So Rusty is one of my top favorites for the 2019 season. As you guys have seen in my top 10 video, I ranked him at number 5 for this year, so he definitely is one of my favorites and one of the coolest scarecrows we have seen in a long time. Now, do I think this Techie Toys Sitting Scarecrow 2.0 lives up to my expectations, and do I think it beats out the Sitting Scarecrow? Well, let me go ahead and get through its pros and cons. So first of all, the pros on this guy is that he has a really unique and awesome animation. We haven't really seen many props with a chainsaw in a very, very long time, and just the action of throwing this chainsaw up above his head is a bit of a jump scare, and then shaking his head back and forth like he's gonna jump out at you with it is really, really freaking awesome. One thing I would say that I wish this guy had is a moving chain on the chainsaw just to bring it to life a little bit more, but that's okay because I guess that would just add more wiring and stuff that is a little bit too much extra to do just for that motion, so I guess I understand that. The chainsaw itself does look pretty cool. I mean, it's not the most realistic thing ever, but it just has a lot of silver detailing over it that has paint, you know, marks over top of the black coat at the bottom, at the base coat, and overall, just his look in general is a really cool scarecrow look. It's a typical scarecrow design, basically the same type of thing from the Sitting Scarecrow, except he doesn't have a hat or anything like that, and I don't believe the Sitting Scarecrow had all of this excess burlap and this tie-up right here. The Sitting Scarecrow had some fringing going on there, so it's a little bit of a different look, and the face is a little bit different as well. It has this black detailing, just making the Scarecrow have a little bit more detail in the face so you can kind of tell where its eyes and mouth are, and it is a really, really awesome look right there. It doesn't need to be anything too complex because it is just a burlap scarecrow head. They could have maybe made this prop actually not be a scarecrow. It could have been an actual person, but I think making it a scarecrow prop does give it this really Halloween feel, and it also kind of leads up to the jump scare nicely because you don't know exactly what's going to happen, and a lot of things could have gone wrong if they did a really detailed face mold or design. It could have looked stupid, so I think that making this into a scarecrow prop definitely was a good move. He also has this gray outfit as well as a like overalls, but not really overalls. They're more of a some sort of protective like clothing piece that you would wear if you were gonna go chainsaw some like trees or something. I don't really know what it's called, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's like that thing that you'd wear over your shirt, and he has that, and then it leads into his blue color on the pants. So it has a really, really simple design. It doesn't have that much detailing going on in general, but I think this fabric might have a little bit of like brown kind of coloration going on in it just to show it being a little bit dirty and old, and then he has these, you know, overall straps going all the way to the back. So it's a really, really simple outfit design, but looks pretty cool. And then he has these plastic hands that look like black gloves that are holding the chainsaw, and I really love the look of the fist holding the chainsaw. It does look really realistic. And then his animation as a whole, like I said, it is really unique. Probably one of the cons of it would be that it just kind of looks a bit weird, you know, like I get what they were trying to do, but sometimes, you know, when he goes like this, it does just kind of look a little bit strange. It might be kind of like not what people were expecting. It might think it's like a real person, and then they might honestly be like a little disappointed that it just kind of does this. It doesn't have any jumping motion. It probably would have been really, really cool if they came out with a chainsaw prop that actually did that and leapt out at you. Like we could have had another Jack Straw, Demonic Dahlia animation. That would have definitely bumped him up on my list, but I still think that it is really cool and unique, and it does kind of like get the point across that he has this chainsaw, and it has this really, really loud screaming to go along with it, that kind of scares you away too and adds to the jump scare. It's not really meant to be a jump scare prop, I wouldn't say, but I guess it kind of is because it's another reaching in bowl prop, and that's another thing I will add to his pros is that he actually is another interactive candy bowl situation like the Sitting Scare. So Techie has been doing a lot of those recently, and that definitely makes him really good prop to have for Halloween. You know, if you're not looking to buy a bunch of props for a haunted house or anything like that, or a yard haunt, then you can at least have something like this, just to kind of add some character to your Halloween, to your house for Halloween, and add that to your porch as something for the kids to grab the candy from. So that definitely is a really, really awesome use of him, although he is pretty versatile in that you don't necessarily have to hook him up to that. You could have him on step pad or something else, and you don't have to hook that bowl up, and then you can just have like body parts and blood in the bowl. So that is pretty cool that they have that ability, and it is cool that he comes with that separate bowl piece in general. And yeah, he also has these shoes down here that are just like black plastic shoes, and they look pretty realistic. realistic, very, very similar type of thing to the sitting scarecrow, where the legs just kind of fall over whatever chair you have him on. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the pros. I think, oh, and as far as the audio goes, it pretty much just has screaming. There's not really any, like, he doesn't say anything, but it pretty much just has, like, female screaming, and then just a bunch of other noises going on. It also has the chainsaw noise, so that is definitely really fitting. And then, like, once it comes back down, it kind of has the chainsaw sound of it, like the gas trickling off. So I think that is really cool. I wouldn't really want this prop to be one that would have phrases, so I think that the screaming, the really loud screaming, mixed with all the chainsaw buzzing sounds, definitely is really fitting for him, and is the perfect audio, so that is definitely a pro. But as far as the cons go, I already did say that, yeah, I wish the chainsaw had those chains moving, and also that his movement sometimes, his animation can sometimes look a little bit funky. It's not like the, you know, it's not the coolest, cleanest looking thing that we've ever seen. Sometimes it does look a bit strange, but the other things would probably be in the setup process. I actually had an issue with mine where the arms are not posable, so that is something that I would say is a bit of a con, because if it comes and it's just not bent right like mine was, you actually will not be able to get and follow the instructions properly to get this this handle on the chainsaw right here to go all the way through his right hand. And if you do try to force it into his right hand all the way through and put that cap back on the underside, it will cause it to start clicking and not fully retract down. And you guys saw that in my unboxing video. So that's definitely a downside if that's going to be a common thing that's going on. You know, that's not my favorite part about him, because it is going to be an issue for some people, and you're going to be following the instructions and possibly breaking it just by following the instructions properly. And I mean, he could have a little bit more detail. He is just pretty basic, just the simple colors, the simple burlap. So it's not like the most amazing design we've ever seen. It's not the most amazing animation. But at the end of the day, I do think it just really brings this classic Halloween feel. It's nothing insane, nothing crazy. And it definitely is, I would probably say, not as good as the sitting scarecrow. The sitting scarecrow was a really unique idea at the time, and the pop-up animation was just really, really cool, and definitely made for more of a jump scare than Rusty does. But I still think that Rusty has a cool scarecrow look. I still think he has a unique design and idea. We've never really seen something like this before with the chainsaw. And I do, like I said, think it brings a classic Halloween feel, and would definitely be one, if you just want to buy one prop to add some character to your house, would be great to just have on your porch, and you can put that candy in the bowl. So that is really awesome, that we just have like a pretty simple Halloween-oriented animatronic that is very family-friendly and would be great for any house for the 2019 season. So he's not my absolute favorite of this year, but he's definitely not my least favorite. But as far as the price for this guy goes, he is $199.99, so $200 for this guy. And I would say he's not the most worth it, but not the least worth it. He's kind of smack dab in the middle for me on the price this year, because we have seen a lot of super duper expensive ones, so he's not like way up there. Although I do think there are some props this year that are more worth it for the same price or less. Like, for example, Bloodthirsty Betty is $160, and she has a lot more unique animation going for her. She's a lot scarier and has a really cool design that we've never seen before, and just her appearance and everything. And she's my actual favorite of this year. So I would say for something like that, $160 is definitely more worth it. You can get that for a cheaper price than this thing. Also, Demonic Dahlia is the same price, $200, but I would say she's more worth it as well, because you get a much more crazy animation that we've never seen before. The sitting to standing. You have ones like Jack Straw, same story. So a lot cooler props that I would say are worth more so that $200 price tag. Rusty, not as much, but there are ones that are worse this year. So I wouldn't say he's the worst, and I think it depends on if you like him as much or better than me, and also what your budget is for this year, how many you're getting. If you're getting a bunch of props for like a haunted house or something, he's not the scariest, and like I said, he's not the most worth it for what he does, so I probably wouldn't get him in that case. But if you're just looking for a couple props to kind of spice up your house this year, and you want, especially if you want something for the porch, he's the perfect thing for that. So then I would say the $200 price tag is worth it, but it's really just going to depend on your situation and what you are doing for this season, because he's, like I said, right in the middle. Although he does have a pretty cool animation, he does have a lot going on for him. He has the head shaking, he has the arms throwing up, but like I said, I just think there's a couple that are a little bit more worth it this year if budget is an issue for you. So that's what I have to say say about his price, but as far as my ranking from 1 to 10, I would say I'd give this guy a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's not the absolute best, but it's definitely not the worst, and it is one of the cooler ones for this year, and just with all of that added together, the price and how unique it is and everything that it does, I would say that 6.5 is where I would rank it. So that's what I have to say about Rusty. Let me know if you agree down in the comment section below, or if you disagree. I would love to hear your thoughts. Definitely go ahead and follow me over on my Instagram at HGJ_Halloween if you want to see more content from me over there. There will also be a link down below to Spirit Halloween's website if you want to get Rusty or anything else for the Halloween season. That is the place to be. And if you buy anything on that link, you'll be helping out me and the channel. And of course, there'll be a up-to-date coupon code to help you make those prices a little bit less scary. And lastly, there will also be a link to the HGJ Halloween merch shop if you want to get any HGJ Halloween designs. All right, thank you all so much for watching today's review, and I will see you guys in the next one.